Hello,
Hello,
how are you? I don't think we've met on Zoom before. Hold
I'm
on, let me get.
Sarah, and I'm running late, which is why everyone's running late because I run the Zoom. Sorry.
Well, I'm Sandra, and this is my husband, Tom.
Hello. Here we go.
Hello.
Hi, John.
Sarah, has school started yet?
We started on Monday.
Yeah, I saw the school bus go by, I guess yesterday for the first time, or the first time I noticed it anyway.
Well, Monday, you live in Woodstock, right?
Yep.
Monday was a half day for everybody. So maybe you
Uh,
didn't see it on Monday, but yesterday was a full day for everybody.
How do I make it be a full screen, Sarah?
Are you on a Mac? Are you on a PC or are you on an iPad?
I'm on a laptop, Mac, I think.
Okay. What you should have something in the top right hand corner that says view.
Yes, I do.
Yep. So if you click on that, you can do speaker. I have it set to gallery so I can see everybody.
But it doesn't fill the screen. I want to make it bigger.
well, there's a full screen choice in that
Yeah,
menu.
there's a full screen choice there as well.
On view, full screen. Haha. Ah, there you are. Oh, thank you, Tom. Good evening, everybody. Looks like we are all here. Terrific. Okay. Where my copy of the minutes? Something right here. Okay, we don't have any guests, so I will call the meeting open. And has everybody had a chance to review the minutes?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Great.
Yep.
I will entertain a motion to accept those minutes.
So moved.
Thank you.
Second.
Second.
I can second.
Okay. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Anybody opposed? Any abstentions? Terrific. Moving right along. Treasurer's report. John, over
Yep.
to you.
I sent one this afternoon, and you can see that we haven't spent a lot of money so far. So we've got a little bit that we paid Reed, just over $100, and then we've paid one bill for Better View, which represents the month of July mowing and weed whacking.
Terrific. We did not pay Bartlett, is that correct?
I don't think I've seen a bill for them. Did you email me a bill?
I emailed you the contract and the stuff that Ryan sent me. I had not seen that prior to this. So we never signed the contract. So although that contract talks about treatments and things that should have happened last month,
Right.
I don't know if they happened.
I don't
So,
either. And I would expect them to send us a bill.
yeah, so I asked him, I said, did you do the treatments that you said you were going to do? And we just haven't, got the paperwork all put together. He hasn't replied to that.
Because
So
I checked the mail. I checked the mail today and there wasn't a bill.
Okay, because I'm concerned if they haven't done those treatments. When we did the walk around with them,
Mhm.
they talked about doing the root work and treating the stuff in the yew trees and things. So I don't, and in the contract it lists things that would have happened in August, which I don't think happened. So I will get on him again. Because the contract talks like a $3,000 bill, which will eliminate our budget.
Yep.
If we paid it out of the regular budget. We would have to take that out of our friends fund. Right?
Yes.
Because you saw the contract, right? I sent it to you.
Yes, I haven't reviewed it. I saw that I got it.
Okay.
But yes, but since that's all tree maintenance, I think we could take it out of the Friends Fund.
Yeah. Okay. But it would not leave us much for the
Nope.
tree removals that we've also got those the estimates for. Did everybody, I think I forwarded the estimates to everybody. Did everybody get a chance to see those estimates?
Yeah, I looked at, the one I'm confused about was the stately one.
Mhm.
It has a zero balance
Zero,
or a
yeah.
zero.
Well, yeah, and then the numbers don't align with, I would think, the right tree. Because I
Well-
think 15,000 is probably the beech, not the three ashes.
Well, I think it's the whole thing. When I took them around, I basically said, I think you're going to need to bring in a crane for the beech and the three ashes, and that grouping of dealing with 4 trees is like one major project.
Yeah,
And
but he had the beeches, the beech tree at 1,500.
That's the other beech tree. That's the one down in the swamp.
Oh,
There are
okay.
3 individual trees that I showed them. There's the
Okay.
birch tree by the south entrance, which is dead. There's the hemlock, which is almost dead. And then there's the beech down on the swamp, which is almost dead.
Okay, I
Those
was
are the
thinking the
3
other
separate
big
ones.
beech. Okay.
But I also asked him right away about, because he was down there last night with a little measuring wheel because his crane operator needed to know how far the parking lot was away from the big beech tree, because they're thinking that they're going to have to leave the crane on the parking lot because that's the only really solid surface.
Right.
And then the arm will reach across to get the
That
giant
is
beech.
a big crane.
That is a big crane.
'Cause
And
that's
so,
a long way.
yeah, yes, it is. Both that's Jamie, who is from him, and Ian, who is from the company that you use, Sandra.
The Prescott family.
Prescott, Ian Prescott. Nice, delightful man.
Yeah,
But their estimate is
very high.
$23,716, and Jamie's estimate is $18,780.
Yeah,
don't know
there
how
was
you-
another company somebody told me about, Northeast or something like that. Have anybody heard
Yep.
of that one? And they
Yep.
used to be very competitive as well.
That the guy that we used that one time?
Yeah, it might have been. So that we'll look it up and see if we've got one more name for you.
Okay, great. I mean, you
Yeah,
know,
I mean, we really like Prescott. They did a great job, but they are not the cheapest.
right.
They-
And at the end of the day, it probably isn't us who will make that decision. It is the
Correct.
town that will make the decision, but we need to take these figures to that Board of Finance meeting.
Yeah,
So I do have the name, this is Northeast Tree. And I have a phone number and a contact person.
Okay, could you give it to me, please?
Yeah, it's 860-481-5253. And I talked to Adam.
Adam, okay. Where are they out of?
I don't know. I had a brochure of theirs, but I didn't put any of that in my contact.
Okay.
They're relatively local.
I think so.
Yeah, we only use local people anyway, so.
Right. I mean, I
What's
think,
the name of that? company,
Northeast.
Tom?
Northeast Tree.
Canterbury, Connecticut is the first one that pops up.
Yeah, I think we used them once. I don't know if they're as responsive as Prescott was. I can't remember, what, we didn't have issues. I mean, we've had a lot of trees taken down on our property and we've used a few different companies. So,
yeah, I was impressed with how responsive Prescott was. They came up with the higher estimate, but they called me right back. I put in a call Friday night when they were closed. His wife called me Monday morning. I called back. They called me again, and he came up on Tuesday, that same day.
yeah, that's what we found with them is that we've had varying degrees of success. I think the Northeast one, if I'm not mistaken, gave us an estimate but never showed up. And
Okay.
so where Ian gave us the estimate, and when they showed up within 10 minutes of when they said they were going to.
Mhm.
And they cleaned up, they did a beautiful job. We had 0 issues.
Great.
And with that price difference, you're gonna have to really think about it. For us, it was 1 tree.
Right.
So, we
No,
were.
I can see that the town would definitely go with the company that they usually use, which is the lower price one.
Is that Stately? They use
Stately.
Stately?
And that's the one they sent down to do the oak tree. And
Yeah,
I think
well,
that's
it's what, $5,000 cheaper. I'd go with them too.
yeah, absolutely. And they did a
Can
great
I-
job for the oak tree. They put down those rubber mats and they, made sure they didn't tear up the property. So I would agree. But I
Can
think
I ask, just clarifying, I hear you guys saying like Prescott. I thought it was Preston.
Oh, Preston, you're right. It's Preston.
Oh, okay. I just for the
Sorry.
minutes, I
Yeah.
just wanted to make sure I had
Okay.
the, okay, thanks.
this is the letter they sent around, Preston family.
Yep,
They
got
sent
it.
a letter around to all our houses.
Great. I just wanted to make sure I was
No,
talking about
thank
the
you,
same
Denise.
thing you were.
Yeah, it is. It's Preston.
Okay.
And I don't think any of these companies have their own crane. I think they all hire some other crane operator that comes in.
Preston has their own. Because they came to our house with one.
Big enough to do this.
Yeah,
Oh, bucket, they had a bucket, sorry.
Yeah.
They had a
Right.
bucket.
that's-
And he talked about doing some climbing in the big purple beach also. That they would probably have to do some climbing as well as crane work. I thought, what a wonderful idea. Wouldn't you love to climb that tree? I mean, any kid would want to climb that tree. It is absolutely the ideal tree to go shinning up on the healthy side, but it is a beauty. Oh,
I would do it before they take it down.
you're on, Tom. So the next step, John, for this finance committee meeting, we have to ask to be on the agenda, or what do we do?
Their standard agenda has an open question comment at the end of it, at the end of the agenda. So it's it might be wise to reach out to them ahead of the meeting to say we'd like to bring something to your attention, so that they make room for it.
Okay.
And as I think I mentioned in my email, I have a conflict that night with the Board of Assessment Appeal, and I'm the chair of that, so I can't skip it.
You have to be there. So who would
Well,
like,
and I don't know, we're hearing appeals for vehicles, and sometimes we get lots and sometimes we get none. So
right,
it's conceivable that if only 2 or 3 people put in an appeal, then we'd have that done in an hour, and then I could move from one meeting to the other.
okay. And can you remind me of the date? I don't have your email in front of me.
The 10th of September. I
Okay.
think that's right.
Who would be free and want to go to this meeting?
What date is that? I can't pull up a calendar.
September the 10th.
The
Let me go.
Tuesday,
The
I have
Tuesday,
left. Yep, I already have, I Woodstock Education Foundation on Tuesdays.
Okay,
We'll be in Vermont, so I won't be around.
okay. Let me go and take a look at my calendar. Hang on.
and Tom says he could probably do it.
Thanks, Tom.
You like how I did that?
Yeah. like,
Yeah.
Right here. No, right. yeah,
He
campus.
does a lot of town meetings where he works, so he's more familiar with them than I am.
That would be great. Okay, yeah, I can go, and if you can come, Tom, that would be fantastic. And
Yeah.
that
What time is it?
7 or 7:30, I don't remember.
I think it's at 7.
Okay. Sarah, that email that you got from Karen
Mm-hmm.
suggested that we should actually get the first selectman to go down there, down to the Arboretum and show him the trees.
Yes. I mean, I stopped reading the email because it was a little much. But yes, I can reach out to Chandler and to Kate and the new person, Mr. Mayhew, and see if they can be down with them and show them everything.
Okay. You want to
But
read?
that's my only fear, is that I don't want to, her email was very stern and very clear about the procedure we need to follow. It also reminded us that we had money and we should use it before we ask for any more.
Did you send the email to everybody or just to me?
No, just to you.
Okay, I will forward that email to everybody. This is Karen, the town treasurer, right?
She's not the treasurer, she's the finance officer.
Okay.
And why we have a finance officer, I have no idea. Because we have both a finance officer and a treasurer. And I suspect we're the only town in Connecticut of our size with both of those roles. And I actually
In-
tried to do some research to figure that out.
Interesting.
Don't get me started on that one. Sorry.
Ah,
Well, you're gonna really enjoy her email then.
Well,
yeah.
I've had some discussions with her already on some other things I'm involved with the town, Board of Assessment Appeal, and then I'm a moderator for voting, and
Mm.
the early voting has gotten very expensive.
Mm.
We
I
had
think-
10 days of early voting for the Republican primary. It basically cost about $100 a vote for the early
Wow.
voting.
Wow,
Wow.
wow, wow.
And
I
then
think you had 19 people come through, didn't you?
yeah, it was 19. It may have been 20 over the 10 days. And then for a primary day was 12 hours. And so the total number of votes cast were 102 out of the 1,900 registered Republicans in Woodstock.
Wow.
At any rate, another hobby horse I need to get off.
Hey, can I bring up something about process? I mean, I just wonder about before attending the Board of Finance meeting of perhaps having a conversation at least with the chair of the Board of Finance of just kind of giving them a heads up of, you know, here's where we are with the Arboretum. We have some trees that are a hazard and the expense of taking them down, which we're working on getting bids for to be able to share, you know, is way beyond our budget. So we're just planning to come to the next Board of Finance meeting to be able to, you know, plant this seed with the Board of Finance and discuss about how we can move forward. I mean, versus just going to the meeting and presenting it at the end and everybody being kind of like, oh, where's this coming from?
That's what my email sort of asked. It's like, we have trees and we just want to asking, we just are curious about the process to make sure we follow it. And then I
Okay.
got very strongly worded
Okay,
email back.
So
Okay.
I mean, as a follow-up to all that, I think, you know, maybe we already have allocation for the funds that they've given us, and it's for, you know, mowing. We have definite things that we use that for, and it cycles through the whole season, and to use it all up on a one-time thing of taking down some trees doesn't seem like it's appropriate, you know. And so, I mean, even if we'd say, well, let's use all this money immediately to take down the trees, then, you know, then we have no budget for the remainder of the year, and we'd be coming it back and asking for more money anyway. So, you know, what's the difference?
Yeah, no, I hear you. And we have that money we have the $8,000 in our friends account, which is specifically for trees, 8,420 and 85 cents. That's what I have down here. But that's not going to meet the cost of the trees. Now, we had been talking about this being a plan over several years, or not necessarily being a do it now, but the concern is the safety factor around that Purple Beach. And
Well, I mean, the other issue too is that if you use all that money, how do we replace these? We have to have a replacement plan.
to buy new trees, yes, absolutely. I think these are all very valid points. I'm just wondering if Denise has a good point about, you know, just socially reaching out to the chair of the finance committee.
well,
Who knows?
Philippa, it sounds like from what you said that maybe it's also the sort of putting together the long-term plan of here's where we see over these years is the work that needs to be done. And then going and presenting it.
Well, Sarah and I had sort of talked a little bit about that when we sat down together, because, you know, there are other elements that need to be taken care of. For instance, the whole drainage issue coming down that road, that needs to have that, and that's definitely a town issue, is having, you know, some kind of a little wall put in, a verge put in, so the water goes into the rain garden rather than going down and eroding the whole area and killing those trees off. So, and, you know, we had talked about the idea, you know, Sarah had said of having a furniture sitting where people could come and picnic, you know, rather than the romantic but very decrepit chairs and tables that we have right now. So that And that's sort of the part of the long-term plan. But you're right, Denise. It's not just taking care of these trees. It's doing things over the long term.
Yeah, and inviting our community to come in and share that space. And how do we do that? I mean,
Absolutely.
with the limited amount of funds and obviously manpower that we have.
Right.
I would agree, though, that I think, and I would agree maybe not going to this Board of Finance meeting and instead going in with their big plan. And who is the chair of finance?
Mike Doherty.
So, and one of us, I don't know who that is, but someone maybe reaching out and saying, we want to present this plan, and maybe by stepping Karen and reaching directly out to him and ask him what he thinks the process should be. And going with all of our ducks in a row, saying, this is all the things that we have.
Does anybody know Mike Doherty? Nobody has a
Know
person.
who he is, but I don't know him.
Okay. Yeah. I talked with him briefly at the town meeting, and he said that we needed to come to him if we needed more money. He was very positive in his response. So I would be happy to talk to him, but I always like to take somebody else with me because I think that having two people there is always useful.
I'm happy to go. I just cannot go to the Board of Finance meeting. I have another.
Okay.
Tuesday's the worst day. I have something every Tuesday of every Tuesday.
Okay. So do we not get ready for this Board of Finance meeting? Do we delay it?
It sounds like we need a plan first.
Okay.
And
So we're not.
You know,
Yeah.
because the last thing we want is to go in and just have them be very upset that we're not doing it, going by the rules, we're not following it, that we haven't done our due diligence, which
Right.
I think sounds like is what we need to do. We need to do basically a presentation of why
Okay.
are we here? And what are we doing? What do we want to do? What do we have that's ongoing? And what are our very specific needs for right now?
Okay. So we need to do
I just think that it needs a little more.
a little more organization and work before we go to the.
Yeah, but it would be
agree with
great
that.
if we talked to the guy and we had guidelines for what does all that mean?
Right.
You know, do we
Yeah.
need to, we've got quotes, but what does that, if we remove the beach, what about replacement? You know, what are we doing? How does it impact the town? What are we doing for the town? What does the town gain from this garden?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Okay. That sounds very reasonable. So we will not go to this Board of Finance meeting, but I think we can still collect a third estimate. It gives us a ballpark figure that the estimates may change if in fact we don't do anything this year, we don't do anything till next year, things are going to change as far as how much they're going to charge, but it does give us some ballpark figures to present to the town and say, look, this is what you need to begin to think about because this is your park and this is our budget and these are the needs that this park has,
Right.
you know? So, okay, sounds good. Hang on. But we have enough, John, in our budget account to continue to pay for the mowing and the zipper zappering, right?
Yes, we should.
Should be able to cover all of that.
Yep.
And if Bartlett's is a $3,000 bill, we may have to be taking some of that out of the Friends account.
Yep.
Okay.
And did you think that everything on their plan, I don't really know, but like was reasonable?
Well,
Bartlett's plan?
when we walked around, they talked with Tom more than me, but they seemed to know what they were doing. And if we don't want to lose any more trees, it seems like they were pretty pragmatic as far as it's not worth investing any more money in this tree, but we've got a bunch of trees that are root bound. And we found that, Philippa, we found that other one at the top of the hill that they didn't even see.
Right. Were there items, Denise, that you felt were not necessary or?
I don't really, honestly, I'm not knowledgeable enough about trees and shrubs, I think, to make comment on it. I just wondered if people who reviewed it all and it seemed appropriate.
It
That's all.
certainly matched what they said needed to be done when we walked around. And it doesn't include any treatment of the Purple Beach, which we're thinking of losing anyhow. So it didn't seem to include any treatment that they have been doing on trees that we're not going to keep.
Okay, so that's not the European birch. No, that's another tree. Okay, all right, thank you.
Okay. So, you know, would another arborist, we've always used Bartlett.
Mhm.
That's another option, I suppose, is to
Yeah, I've got a name of another arborist. Hold on, while you guys are talking, I'll pull up.
They always seem very confident and, you know, passionate about the Arboretum to me. I don't mean to question their work. I don't know anything about it. So just wanted to make sure somebody who was more knowledgeable on the committee had taken a look. That's all.
Okay. As I say, I don't know what anybody else would charge. I do know that the things that they listed were things that they pointed out to us, said
Okay,
this is a problem, this is a
Great.
problem, this is a problem.
thank
and
you.
they have-
Thanks.
They have
Yeah,
all the testing facilities, so
yes.
yeah.
Yeah,
The,
Good. Okay.
the other arborist is actually lives on Bradford Corner Road. His name is Chad Hart.
Oh,
Wow.
yeah.
You know him?
I've had him do work at my house.
Yeah,
And I've wondered about getting a second opinion on the Purple Beech, you know, the big one. Is it really on its last legs, or would somebody else say, oh no, if you do this and that, it'll survive?
yeah, he came out and assessed some of the trees on our property too.
Um,
And he didn't charge me anything. He just did an assessment. He just, as a gratuity, to a friend of mine, and he came out and talked with me for a few minutes, and he seemed very personable.
yeah, Chad was on the committee at one point,
Okay.
and so has a history with the Arboretum.
Okay,
I'm not sure he would be willing
okay.
to
I'll leave it
work
there
with
then.
us
Yeah.
again. I can see Sarah nodding.
This all happened before me and Philippa, we just know that there's been bad blood.
So I just don't, we were being recorded, so I just don't think we should go into the discussion of
That's
it.
fine, that's fine.
So yeah, I'm sure he is excellent.
Mhm.
And
Just
knowledge-
sounds so juicy.
No,
We can meet somewhere, maybe with some sort
Okay.
of leverage, and I'm happy to tell you it. I'll happy to
Yeah.
tell you everything.
Good, okay.
Well, if for whatever reason he's not available, is there another arborist that does business in this part of the state that we should ask to have a second opinion on the patient? I think that's really the point I'm trying to make.
Good.
yeah, I hear that point, John. I think it's a very valid point. Let me see if I can find out. Does anybody know of any other arborists around here?
No, but you can try Yukon Extension. I'm sure they have.
Right. Yeah.
Or what about I live right by Rosen Park and they're doing all that tree work and it's Alex Hill. Is he an arborist or is he just a tree guy? Does anyone know?
I don't even know who he is.
I'll look it up
He-
right.
Yeah, so he's doing all the work at Rosen Park.
Alex Hill.
Mhm.
Yeah, and they are doing a lot of work because they've
Yeah.
started to implement their plan to
Yeah.
redo the roads and stuff.
But I don't know if he's just like a tree guy, which is totally fine, or if he is a,
I think Sandra's looking it up right now.
Yeah, let's see if I can find him. Do you know the name of the company?
Yep, I can look at it. Hold on.
Yeah, it's not coming up with that information.
They were all screaming about it the other day on Woodstock Proud. I'll find it.
Yeah, I mean, we can look it up and see what his credentials are.
Yeah, I think that's a very valid point, John. Because I hate to lose that beach. I just think she's the queen of the Arboretum, and if there's anything that we can do to save her, I mean, what we were told by Bartlett is that to remove the fungicide, the fungally infected part of the tree, and remove the hazard, the danger area,
Yeah,
would be extremely expensive because it would also require a crane. And so we were not being fiscally responsible if we do that, leave the other half alive.
Mhm.
And it's likely to be dead in a couple of years because of what's happening with beech, what's happening with all beech trees, I guess, at the moment, which has nothing to do with the fungal infection. It's got to do with what else is going on with beech trees at the moment. So that's
Well,
what Julian told us.
Well, and I
But-
think it's sort of part of the preparation work for the Board of Finance discussion. And if
Mhm.
we get a second opinion, we can say, this is what we've done, and this is why we've chosen this plan that's going to cost us $20,000 to get rid of a tree that's dying.
Right,
So it
okay,
doesn't fall on somebody.
right. Okay,
It
I
looks like it just it's Hillstead tree, but it looks like it just like I'm a tree guy.
okay.
It doesn't look like I am an arbor.
Yeah,
Well,
we
I
have,
think the Yukon Extension Service
I think that's a good one.
is a good idea. And actually, I may send a note to the other board members for the Federation of Garden Clubs because
Mhm.
we're an affiliate, and one of them may have an idea. Although their knowledge tends to be along the coast and up around the western part of the state, but they may have some ideas.
That would be very helpful, John. Thank you. Yeah, I'd appreciate that.
Yeah, it doesn't say anything about being an arborist on Homestead, as you said.
Okay. Okay, everybody's all set for tomorrow afternoon?
Yep.
Yep.
Terrific. Remember to
It's
cover up.
beautiful weather. It's supposed to be 70, high of 72.
Okay, and Kristen is coming also. She said she's available.
Tom
So,
can,
Yeah, I'm not coming.
You're available?
I'm at school. I'm working.
yeah, you're working, yeah. But remember to cover up because there's going to be poison ivy in there. So, I know it's a good thing you're in school.
I did spray a bunch, but yeah, I'll bring my plumber pliers.
Okay, that's right. And your
I
bucket,
also got stung by 3 bees the last time I was down there. I think I'm cursed for
I took care of them for you. I went down in the middle of the night and I sprayed the little devils. And then apparently I missed the hole. So I had to go down a second time and spray them again and took care of them so that there are no more yellow jackets in that spot. But yellow jackets are around and they make their holes in the ground. But I did take care of them for you. And gave them a nasty lesson. Okay, so Thursday we will go down and we're going to do an attack on that rain garden. And also Chris is coming down. And any thoughts about what his Zipper Zapper crew should work on? Sarah, because you won't be there. The rest of us can talk about it while we're working.
Besides, do we think the path is wide enough?
Oh, I think so.
Oh,
Okay.
did you do some work out there? You
Oh,
said you-
yeah, it's gorgeous.
Oh, I haven't been down there to see it.
Oh, yeah, it's beautiful.
I think the
I mean,
path is-
I can't believe the work you and Kristen did on it. It's just amazing.
Well, we had Reed's backup as well, which was very nice. He only worked for us for 2 weeks, but he did a great job. And he said he'll be willing to come back next summer too and bring his little brother with him. So that would be great workforce. The little brother will have to apply through the town, but it would be nice to have some cohesive with this family because they're such good kids. So we can talk about that, but you have any thoughts, Sarah? Because you won't be there? No? Okay.
Yeah, well, the poison ivy, that's my thoughts. That's it.
Okay, upcoming tours, you're all set
Mhm.
for Saturday, October the 12th. Is John and Sandra. Sunday,
Mhm.
October the 13th is John and Sandra. October the 19th is John and Denise. And October the 20th is John and Denise. And September the 28th is John and myself. And if anybody else wants to join us, you'll be welcome,
Yeah,
Uh,
the last Green Valley Walktober calendar has just come out. And Philippa, I'll bring the one tomorrow for you that was at the town hall
Okay,
when I
great.
checked the mail today.
Okay. I will go down to their headquarters and get the stuff. Apparently after September the 4th, we can go down and get
Yeah,
t-shirts and
Yeah, they've got
signs and things.
a leader pack or guide pack or whatever they called it. Yes.
Yeah, I usually go down and get it, and it's just more signs and more t-shirts and the sign-in sheets that they like us to sign in on. So I'll go down and do that.
And the two of the weekends, the Quiet Corner Garden Club is having an exhibition in the Center for Woodstock History. That's the history of the garden club.
Right.
And so that's another one of the reasons we picked those weekends was to coordinate with their event.
And will they be doing publicity for it? Or are they
Short
relying
answer, I
on,
don't know. Longer answer, I would expect them to.
I just
It'll be in
didn't
the,
know.
I think they're also in the Walktober
Okay.
guide.
So they were relying on the Last Green Valley Walktober guide to do the publicity.
Yes, I don't know that I can check. Um, I think there'll be a garden club meeting before the 28th, so I can double check, or I can email one of the folks to find out what they're going to do.
Okay. You know, John, if you have a garden club meeting and Linda Kaplan is there,
Hmm.
would you very sweetly remind her that the shade garden is her project?
Her
And
husband just had a hip replacement, so she's staying pretty close to home.
well, the garden is very close to home.
Philippa.
Hey,
Well, I tell you what, I'll go offer to have a cup of coffee and sit with Greg while she goes and weeds the shade garden. How about that?
there you go. Perfect. I think Greg would love that. I just, you know, we talked about the fact when, you know, master gardeners have projects and then abandon them. And she has been good in the past of getting together some other gardeners and coming in and weeding it, but it definitely is needing some weeding. So if she would do that, that would be nice. Okay. Have I missed anything? I think we're down to other business.
So just as far as moving ahead on kind of a long-term plan, I guess what I've heard is the possibility of finding another arborist to get another opinion on some of the trees about whether they really need to be removed, getting a third estimate on the removal of the trees, and then is somebody from the committee gonna kind of work on putting together, you know, over a 3 to 5 years here, what the projects that we see as undertaking and some associated costs to then be able to go to the Board of Finance / Board of Selectmen town to share that with?
I think you're right, Denise. And I think Sarah had volunteered to be one of those coordinators, right?
Yep, I can put, as once that we decide on like what we want to do and I have prices, I'm happy to make like an Excel sheet and a document and all that kind of stuff. But I don't think we're really there yet. I mean, we have all the quotes and I can organize that and have that ready to go. I think we should be able to tell, like, I can write up like a white paper that says like, we reached out to all these people. These are the opinions of the two arborists. This is what our current budget has been. Do the history, like after COVID, we did ask for money from ARPA. We were denied, like we did not get it. We're at this is our long-term plan. This is our long-term goals. This is why we're asking for more money, and that we understand that money is tight in town, but even if they're able to increase it a little by little, that every year I could do a priority list, like this has to be done in 2025.
Yeah,
That's what we need, yeah.
yeah.
I'm happy to do it once I have all the information. I have a clear game plan. I can put all that together.
Do we have a plan for replacement trees on how we vet that out and quote those out? Because that should be part of that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Quite right, Sandra. Yes, it should be. And what size tree to buy and the costs of the trees.
Yeah. And the installation of them, because they're gonna probably be ball and burlap. They're not gonna be, you know, in a pot, probably. We're probably gonna
Are
need.
there grant sources to support this kind of project?
I don't know.
I wonder if there's anything through the Department of Agriculture.
We've applied for grants to master gardeners before and they have small grants that the Master Gardener Club or the Garden Clubs of Connecticut or something has given us. We have applied for those grants in the past. They're not very big, John, but we've got them.
Let me look at, there's a PCLB Foundation, Percy and Carmen Lucia Buck. That's the family that owned and founded Subway stores, have just sold it and got multiple tens of billions of dollars. And they are supporting largely education related projects. and then land conservation. They're doing a lot of work with land trusts and giving grants for operating expenses to land trusts. So let me go look at their website and see if they have a program to support municipal gardens, for want of a better word.
Okay.
Because that would be another, that is a potential source.
What about
f-
the West Green Valley? You know, is they always are doing grants and things.
Yeah, that's another, the prior step is I think we have to make sure that we are allowed to do this as a town.
I know.
park.
Mm.
I have there's somewhere in the back, I have a feeling that there's some restrictions. It has to go through, I don't know if the town has a grant writer or there's a procedure that you have to go through if you are it's like hiring a kid to work in the Arboretum. There's a whole procedure that has to be followed because we're a town park. But I can talk to Karen and find out what it is.
Yes.
Because yes, if there's grant money out there, we deserve it, you know, and if it's just a question of applying, we can apply.
Hmm.
But we need to have as Denise continues to point out quite rightly, we need a plan first.
Yeah.
Right.
John, just for the minutes, can you share the name of the website you were going to look at for possible grant funding? I forget what you said it was, or the name of the group.
Well, hang on, let me look at it. I think I've got it. It's the Peter and Carmen Lucia, Lucia, Buck, Buck Foundation.
Thank you. Thanks.
Mhm.
Okay. Other concerns? Denise, do you have any other concerns? We-
No,
We
thank
jumped
you.
around a lot and you're great at doing the minutes. You do a beautiful job. Thank you.
Well,
Should we set like a December deadline for us to at least gather all in the information? That way I can get it together in December. Maybe we can present at the January finance meeting. Or restart that process, because then they're starting to look at the budget.
yeah,
Right.
yeah,
we definitely need to be in on the ground floor of the budget this year.
Yeah.
yeah.
Yes.
So maybe if we set ourselves like a December deadline, making sure we have all the material, that way I can, I'm just thinking about my schedule, like I have a 2-week break, I can get stuff done, I can get stuff over Thanksgiving done, like.
Sounds great, Sarah.
Okay.
Just to back up a bit. Should I go and talk to Mike Doherty informally or should I not?
Wouldn't hurt, would it?
Just say
I
that-
think I
so-
would talk to him just to establish the contact, if nothing
Right.
else.
Okay, I'll be happy to.
Yeah, and just to inform him that we're working on a long-term plan, that there's some needs that are beyond the basic budget, which covers
Right.
barely the basic maintenance of the Arboretum, and that we're putting together a plan to
Okay.
come.
Pretty much the points that we've talked about in this meeting. I think we've covered all that important stuff. So if I just kind of share
Yeah.
some of that with him, I will do that. Okay. I just think it's nice to be communicative with people and inclusive
Yes.
with people and just make those social
Yes.
contacts rather than to be aggressive. Yeah. Oh, third thing. We had talked about, and Denise had talked about this, and Sandra also, asking Kristen if she would like to join the committee. She's been a wonderful weeder and helper. I don't know if she's interested in joining the committee, but I would love to have her join the committee. What do you think?
More the merrier.
Yeah,
We have open slots, don't we?
Oh yeah, we can have 7 people.
Yeah, she's a master gardener. She can help with that area. Especially if part of the, whatever we end up with the plan, we have that woodland, create
Mhm.
that woodland area. She could really help us with that.
Right. I don't know if she's interested, but I will. I'll be
Yeah.
happy. She's going to be there tomorrow, so we can raise it tomorrow. I just didn't want to
Yeah.
raise it myself before I run it by all of you. But she's.
So there's a limit to how many people can be
I
on
think
the,
there are 7 people supposed to be on the committee. Yes.
is there a second tier of people that can be involved?
Oh, anybody can volunteer to help work and weed. The committee is limited to 7 by the arrangement with the town.
It just seems like, we have a need for
Grunt
people
labor.
here, and you know, if there was something, you know, like a Friends of the Arboretum level of service that people could feel like, you know, hey, I signed up, I do have a commitment here, not just like randomly, you know, you can volunteer, but you don't have any status at all.
We haven't had one like that. I mean, we have a fund that's called Friends of the Arboretum. These are people who we send the begging letters to. In the last the few years I've been on the committee, we've sent out 2 begging letters and had donations. And there's a list of people that we consider Friends of the Arboretum,
Right.
because they've been financially supportive and they have some connection with the Arboretum. But we have not had an official, you know, that we invite all the Friends of the Arboretum to come and have tea in the Arboretum one afternoon because they are Friends of the Arboretum. I mean, that would be an interesting idea, Tom. Yeah,
Yeah, that could be part of our long-term plan.
that could be.
Because I
Absolutely.
think, you know, very good, you know, I've done a lot with marketing and graphics my whole life. It's really, that's what that arm of it is. It's just more of a-
It sounds like this is a project right in your
Yeah,
camp,
it
Sandra.
is. It sounds like something that we could work on, as a Friends of the Arboretum.
Yeah,
You know, as you said, you send out, you do, you know, the fundraisers and the teas and the things like that, but we can, it really needs to be, to Denise's point, it has to be part of the plan.
long-term
because
plan.
It's gotta fit with what the plan dictates, not, you know, because otherwise we can just spend a lot of time and
right.
not really get out of it what we're looking for.
Yeah, no, I agree.
I think the plan is I personally think the plan, you know, ideas for the plan and vetting through those ideas and coming up with a cohesive plan will help us
Mhm.
form what's most important, because I think it's a great idea, but there's probably 18 great ideas.
Yeah.
Only 18? Come on, we're more creative than that. 37 great ideas. Okay, terrific. Anything else? Sarah, anything? Thank you for setting up the Zoom meeting, by the way. I really appreciate you doing that. I've lost those directions that you gave me about how to set up a Zoom meeting.
It's
I would
really,
have to be
it
disastrous
really
if I had to
takes
try and
3
do it.
minutes. Takes maybe 30 seconds, but I'm happy to do it.
By the way, Owen has a history teacher that he says would get on really well with you.
Oh, fine.
He's
Right.
he's just in, you know, really is lighting his candles. He's just very happy there. Just let you know that. Tom and Sandra, anything?
No,
No, all set. Okay, John, all set.
And I
1:30
just, I just looked at the,
Sorry,
I'm sorry.
was it 1:30 tomorrow?
Yes.
Okay, sorry, John, go ahead.
I just looked on the PCLB Foundation's website, and their section called Outdoors is focused on land conservation and building land trusts, and then camping, none of which applies to the Arboretum. So I guess that's a non-starter. We'll have to look somewhere else.
How about land conservation? Doesn't
There,
the Arboretum being in a good condition considered land conservation?
they're looking at open space and productive farmland.
Oh, okay.
I mean, it wouldn't hurt to send them a note, and I can do that, to ask if that's a thing they would consider.
Yeah.
But just looking at reading this material, and with one of my other ball hats that I wear, I've actually met with a representative from this organization, and well, it's worth asking. We'll ask the
You
question.
might just say, well, no, not us, but here's a good company or
Yep.
organization you should contact.
Yep.
Mhm. Right. John, you must have an amazing hat closet.
I do. It's too full right now, but yes.
I do. I have amazing hat closet as well.
You do, huh?
That's why I only like Zoom meetings. I can be home.
Yes.
Okay, well,
Yep.
thank you all very much. I will see you at 1:30, except for Sarah. I will see you all suitably covered up with long gloves and things for tomorrow, okay?
Yeah.
1:30.
Okay.
All right,
Good
thank you.
evening.
You.
Good
Thank you.
night.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Good night.